Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So I've been working on this mystery project. It'll be a different video, and there's been a lot of milling, like a ton of milling. I bet you I've been milling away at this thing for about 3 hours now, and my end mill is finally dull. So we're gonna take this opportunity to go over the sharpening of end mills. So I have to say, I'm super happy with these end mills. And believe it or not, this is a $9 end mill, and I've probably got 3 continuous hours of milling on this thing. And it's not dull at all. There's no chips, but this is not a rigid head. This milling head it flops all over the place, which doesn't help things. So as soon as these things get a little bit dull, you can really tell the machine's just hurting. So we're gonna sharpen this guy up.
Something went absolutely insane with my audio, so I'm using my microphone trying to fill in the blanks here. What I was trying to show you guys or tell you guys was that I was super happy with these end mills and that they come from a company called AccuSize. This 20-piece set cost me $180, so on average $9 a piece for these end mills, and I've been nothing but happy with them. I find I'm getting great life out of them, and I have no affiliation with those people yet, but I just wanted to let you know that you can actually get a solid set of end mills at $9 a piece. Now here I'm showing where you can see a bit of light reflecting around the very cutting edge. That's where the cutting edge has basically worn to a cylindrical shape right at the cutting edge, and with my milling machine, that slight bit of wear is enough to really make it struggle. I'm going to be doing this sharpening on my Kaoli tool and cutter grinder, and so I'm gonna tear it down, the setup that's on there, and get some ways into the new setup. Well, I'm going to fast motion through all the setup because it's kind of boring. But when there's something interesting, I'll explain it. This fixture is called an air bearing. It's supposed to have compressed air attached to it to basically make the spindle in it just float. I've never had clean enough air to have any success with that. The water would get in there and just make it sticky. So I've been just keeping mine good and lubed up with 1030 for all these years, and that does work just fine. So my audio is screwed up again, so my sound doesn't match my lips again. But what I was hoping to do here was explain to you guys some of the features of this thing. So it's got a collet and a drawn bar to hold various different sizes of end mills in place. These are end stops that I'm pointing out. This is the finger rest that the tool is guided by, and it's pretty important. That can be adjusted in and out with this knob for different size diameters of end mills. It can also be adjusted up and down with this thumb wheel here to adjust your angle of attack and thereby adjusting your clearance. The height of the wheel also has an effect on the clearance angle. The actual cutting itself is done when you draw the whole thing back towards you and run it past the wheel. And then when you want to advance to get the next tooth up onto that finger, you pull this handle here down. You can move over to your next tooth, wind it on, and then when you put that handle back up, you're ready. You're in your cutting position again. It just basically provides clearance. This knob is for adjusting the clearance angle. So once you've determined that you're at an angle that you want to be at, you can move on to subsequent, say, secondary or even tertiary clearance angles by using that.
I'm just adjusting the travel now so that when I get to the back of the flute with my pointer, that I have a stop set. I'm going to actually move that pointer out a little closer to the edge so I can get all the way back into here. I'm going to check the clearance angle on here now with the test dial. That's about where it begins. About 7th thou across there. And I don't know if the camera's picking up, but I can really see the dullness there. So actually setting the clearance angle, which is the height of this pointer and the height of the wheel combined, is a bit of a trial and error thing. So what I generally do is just, not that I can see in there, but I get as close as I can guess, and then I'll come in super slowly with my in-feed handle. And when I just hear it, like I'm only gonna nick it by like a thou, then I'm gonna pull it out, I'm gonna see where I'm at and adjust and then do that again. And I'll keep doing that until basically I get a nice straight line that's cutting as deeply into the back, like all the way from the back of the primary clearance to the front of the primary clearance. I want a continuous line after only having fed it in a thou. Then I'll know I'm getting the exact same clearance angle. Here we go, touching off attempt number 1. And I'm gonna be doing this without the dust collector on. It'll just let me hear better what's going on in there. Just heard it touch, just so happens I'm at 0, flukily. I didn't set that up. Now if you look here, real close, I promise you I didn't set this up in advance. Just lucked out, just freakishly lucky. I got the exact line I was talking about. If I had too much clearance, there'd be a spot cleaned up at the back of the primary, and if I had not enough clearance, there'd be a spot cleaned up at the cutting edge of the primary. But because that line is perfectly the same from one end to the other, that's how I know that I've got the exact proper clearance set. I was uncertain if that line could be seen in the last clip, so I think you can see that line I'm talking about now. If you look really carefully too towards the top of where the leading edge is, where the cutting edge is, you can actually see some of the damage there from use. Well, now I'm all set to fire up my dust collector and sharpen this guy up. down ever so slightly. That looks good. I don't see any of that round, shiny leading edge anymore. It's going to take one more pass, just super light pass, and go super slow, just so I get the nicest possible surface finish on there. Happy with that. I mean, I'm happy that the damage has been cleaned up, the wear is gone. I'm going to run a test dial on there and make sure I still have the same clearance. So 3 down to -4. So yeah, 7th out, same as before. I'm happy with that. The cutting edge is nice and sharp, all the damage is gone, the primary clearance angle is completely cleaned up. We can still see the slightest little reflection at the cutting edge. I'm not sure if that's showing up on the camera or not, but what that is the burr that's been created by doing the grinding. But we've got a way to deburr that. We'll get into that as soon as we are done putting the secondary clearance angle on. I'm at 0 degrees here now. I'm going to rotate this whole head so that my finger rotates downwards by 7.5 degrees. That should be the perfect place for our secondary clearance angle to live. I'm just going to touch off and then I'm going to fire up my dust collector. Little adjustment there. I'm going to give it another 2.5 degrees. And touch off again. Still needs more. I'll give it another 2.5 degrees. And that's perfect. So now if you take a look in there, you can see our secondary clearance angle. I'm done with that. I'm happy with it being this wide and the primary being that wide. So yeah, I'm gonna just throw the test dial on there one last time just to make good and sure I don't have any heels back here that are higher than the cutting edge. I'm sure I don't, but it's easier to fix now than later. There's our cutting edge, primary clearance, and plenty of secondary clearance. So that's good to go. Just have to deburr that. This end is in fine condition. It's in fine shape. There's no noticeable wear whatsoever on the end itself. If there were, we'd be going over how to sharpen the ends. But this one's fine, so we'll save that for another day. I found years ago deburring end mills to be a real challenge because if you're too aggressive, you dull the edge. And if you don't do it, then you don't have the keenness of the edge that you should have. And it also just doesn't feel sharp to, say, a customer. So what I've learned is that this is 3 thou diameter stainless steel bristles on this brush. And it's like the perfect consistency to knock that burr off. It'll also remove heat. If you get a little purple on there from too much heat, it'll take some of that off as well, without actually dulling the edge in any way or losing any of the keenness of the edge. So those cutting edges feel entirely different now. They were sort of feeling a little serrated before and choppy, and now it's just a nice smooth, keen edge and plenty sharp. That's it for today's show, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Bye for now.